a future where everyone has a chance to thrive. For the change makers, the innovators, the ones building a better world, one solution at a time. The Adani Green Talk Social Impact Awards are created for you.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View this Monday evening. Lots lined up with Vasudha and me over the next 60 minutes. Namaskaram, Namaskara, Bavunara, Nalla Irkingla.
Vanakkam Veera and Namaskar to all our viewers. Special focus this evening on Tamil Nadu politics, on CN Annadurai's birth anniversary, also on the factions in the AIADMK, and also we'll get you a special face-off between TVK and DMK panelists.
We'll also focus on the Apex Court stay on some key provisions of the Waqf Amendment Act while refusing to stay the Act itself. But first, let's take you through the headlines. We're tracking this up.
The accused in Delhi BMW crash that killed Deputy Secretary of Finance Ministry has been arrested and taken into custody.
After the handshake snub in the Asia Cup match between India and Pakistan, now Pakistan threatens Asia Cup boycott if the match referee is not removed.
In the midst of India-US trade deal buzz, chief US negotiator scheduled to arrive in India tonight. Trade deal talks likely to resume tomorrow.
First up this evening, the political action in Tamil Nadu. Vasudha, opposition party, the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam's internal battles heating up with more public statements from the party's disgruntled 9-time MLA K.A. Sengottayan, who was relieved of party posts, and also from ousted former General Secretary V.K. Shashikala breaking her silence, both demanding that the party chief Edappadi Palanichami unites all factions of the party together. This as EPS is all set for a crucial visit to New Delhi tomorrow, Vasudha.
Yes, so EPS is coming to Delhi, my city, tomorrow. And also, will EPS relent is the big question, Veera. Do these factions have any hold in the party? All these questions raised today on the birth anniversary of the founder of the DMK, CN Annadurai. That also makes it all the more symbolic. The challenge to EPS from party MLA Sengottayan has been dismissed by Edappadi Palanichami camp as insignificant. Now, Sengottayan demanded the return of V.K. Shashikala, former Chief Minister O. Selvam and others back into the party, and he's being seen as a challenge to Edappadi Palanichami's leadership because he's the one who dislodged them. Let's listen in to some reactions.
நிராகரிக்கிறதுங்கிறது பொதுவாக ரொம்ப ஈஸியான வேலை. சேர்க்கிறது அப்படிங்கிறதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான வேலை. அது டைம் எடுக்கும் சேர்க்கறது. இப்போ நாங்கள்லாம் தலைவர் மறைவுக்கு பிறகு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சேர்த்தே பழக்கப்பட்டுட்டேன் நான். அதனால் இது நிறைய பேர் இதெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கணுங்கிறது தான் என்னுடைய ஆசை.
Remember, Vasudha, EPS took full control of the AIADMK and has a strong equation with the state BJP chief Nayanar Nagendran, who's from the OBC Tevar caste, which has a strong hold in southern Tamil Nadu. EPS himself from the OBC Kongu Vellalar or Gounder caste from western Tamil Nadu, and wants to keep all threats to his leadership, especially from the likes of V.K. Shashikala or TTV Dinakaran, away.
That's right. It'll be interesting, Veera, to watch how dynamics play out in Tamil Nadu and also in New Delhi tomorrow. Joining us this evening is senior journalist R.K. Radhakrishnan and political analyst close to the BJP, Ramasamy Mayappan. Thank you both of you for joining us on this broadcast. R.K., to you first. Will EPS relent? And how do you look at these multiple factions? Because all of them are saying that, everybody needs to unite. They're not really asking for the ouster of EPS. So how do you look at this?
Good evening, viewers, and thank you, Vasudha, for the question. And good to see Ramasamy back in India. Welcome back, Ramasamy. See, the problem here is that in 2017, TTV Dinakaran pulled the rug from under Edappadi Palanichami's feet, hoping that Edappadi Palanichami government will collapse and he will become chief minister eventually. The problem starts there. I mean, it can go even further earlier, but then the point is that this is where Edappadi Palanichami felt that he was let out by TTV Dinakaran. Now, cut back to what is happening now with TTV Dinakaran saying that Edappadi Palanisammy is not the acceptable face of the AIADMK going into this polls, or the leader of the NDA in Tamil Nadu and whatnot, and Sengotian raising the flag and of revolt. And then again, you have Shashikala, then apparently day first day, Deepa, the person who now has control over Pious Garden, claims that she went to Delhi and met Amit Shah. So there are some 6 or 8 factions now who claim to be AIADMK. In fact, Shashikala says that she is still General Secretary of the AIADMK. OPS is running something for the cadre, says that AIADMK from Edappadi Palanisammy. So all those things are there, but these are all actually pointless factions. In fact, let us that the NDA under Edappadi Palanisammy in 2021 near won it after a 2-term rule in Jayalalitha won both the 2011 and 2016 campaigns, but then they managed to win 75 seats in Tamil Nadu. That is Edappadi's victory. Let us not forget that.
And more importantly, R.K. Radhakrishnan, the victory was of MLAs who were fielded by Edappadi Palanisammy primarily in the western part of the state, which sort of reacted his grip over the AIADMK. But Mr. Meyyappan, does the BJP see this as a potential problem? Because AIADMK factions seem to be running to New Delhi to ask Edappadi Palanisammy to bring about unity. Do you see the BJP trying to bring all the factions together, whether it is a TTV, Dinakaran, O Paneerselvam, or all of them together, or categorically reiterate and send a message, whether it is to Sengotian or others within the AIADMK, that it's EPS in charge and we are not going to step into that battle?
A very good evening, everyone. Thank you to Dr. RK. Welcome back as well. First, I think the BJP categorically has always taken a stand that will not step into the internal affairs of any political party. So, reiterating the same, I don't think the BJP is going to step into the internal affairs of the ADMK, its general function. But if certain leaders have certain concerns on how the elections in 2026 is going to be approached and how the DMK is going to be unseated, then the BJP has primacy in that thought process. There, the BJP's primary goal is to unseat the DMK from office today and ensure a combined good opposition for the welfare of the people comes to office. 1. 2, that government that comes in is stable. 3, that government is able to implement programs with the double engine sarkar with the leadership of Prime Minister Modi at the center, and a very stable leader that Mr. Edappadi has been in the past, and we hope for him to be in the future. So that is the call that the BJP is going to take. And here I think the BJP's critical position.
So that's an important point, Mr. Meyyappan. Staying with Tamil Nadu politics, Veera, on the other side of the Dravidian political divide, that's what we talk about now. A day after MK Stalin took a dig at actor Vijay for disrupting traffic with events, and superstar Rajinikanth praised MK Stalin as somebody who's all set to take on the old and new rivals. Congress MP Karthi Chidambaram may be causing the DMK discomfort because he spoke today openly about a coalition in the state of Tamil Nadu.
You don't hear the Congress speaking too often about a coalition in Tamil Nadu. Vasudha, they've been out of power since 1967. The Congress has been a junior partner for the DMK, remember, since 2004, and even gave up pushing for a coalition in 2006 when the DMK itself fell short of a majority to keep the UPA government stable at the center. But Karthi Chidambaram has said that the Congress has always desired a coalition and that the party would use it if it got a chance. Coalition talk doesn't go down well in Tamil Nadu, Vasudha, whether it's the DMK, AIADMK, with the BJP or the Congress. Listen to what Karthi Chidambaram had to say before we get Radhakrishnan and Meyyappan to weigh back on it to it.
1967 அதே ஏக்கம் எங்களுக்கு தான் இருக்கு. அதே ஏக்கம் தான் எதிர்காலத்திலும் இருக்கும். அந்த வாய்ப்பு வந்தால் கடந்த காலத்துல வந்த வாய்ப்பு வந்த ஒரு முறை வாய்ப்பு வந்தது 2006ல அதை நாங்கள் பயன்படுத்திக் கொள்ளவில்லை. அந்த வாய்ப்பு வந்தால் நிச்சயமாக கட்சி அதை பயன்படுத்திக் கொள்ளும் என்று நான் நம்புகிறேன்.
Well, R.K. Radhakrishnan, is everyone except the DMK and AIADMK sensing a coalition in Tamil Nadu, or is this just one of those off-political comments that you'd rather ignore in the political space at the moment?
Karthi is barking up the wrong tree. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen in Tamil Nadu 100% because you see the equation in 2006 was that Sonia Gandhi was completely happy and grateful to Kalainar, if I might add, because in 2004, just before the elections, he is the one who proposed Sonia Gandhi's name for prime ministership, and also to lead the alliance and name the alliance Democratic Progressive Alliance. Obviously, the name was changed to UPA. The same situation exists now, where the equation between Rahul Gandhi and Stalin are such that Stalin actually traveled to Bihar to make a speech in Tamil of all things. Of course, it was translated and whatnot. So this is the first time that any Tamil Nadu chief minister or any Tamil Nadu political personality is actually
AIADMK dichotomy in Tamil Nadu?
No,
but you don't see Vijay disturbing the dichotomy of DMK, ADMK in Tamil Nadu?
Not as of now. I mean, see, he's a weekend politician as of now. He's coming during the weekends for a rally. Vasudha was there in Tiruchi. She would have seen the euphoria and all of that. And that's where it ends, right? I mean, you have to do politics 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I mean, that's how you become a politician. He's still not there. I mean, let's wait for a couple of these rallies and see if he's going to be this big thing like NT Ramarao.
So you're very tough to please, RK. I think Vijay has to work very hard to please you. But Mr. Mayappan, how do you look at Karthi Chidambaram's tweet? Because in every state, the Congress works hard, but it's never part of the government in most states, including several like Bihar, but also in Tamil Nadu. Is there also a sense that the Congress understands that the DMK also has anti-incumbency, which is why these comments are coming up?
Okay, here I'm going to ride on the shoulders and the political acumen of senior journalist Dr. Radhakrishnan, but also take a stigma and difference. I don't think the Congress is working hard. The Congress can claim working hard, like Akis said. Politics is a 24-hour requirement, and electoral politics more so than that. And I don't think the Congress in Tamil Nadu is doing that. Same as with Vijay. Vijay has got the star power, got the charisma from the media industry, and now to be able to translate that, he'll be able to draw big crowds. But to be a public person, you have to be there available for every requirement. And for a more recent event in Tamil Nadu, he was not there available to go meet those people. Claiming that my personal safety and security was more important, therefore I can't go meet those people who need my attention, whose services are required for the general public, is something that a good politician and someone who wants to be the chief minister of the state should not be looking at. He should have walked down to the Ripon building, the corporation office, met with all those workers, assuaged them, and said that he is going to work for them. That would be the leader that this country is looking for. If he's the alternative leader, if he's going to be the change maker that he's talking about, then that is what he should have provided. He's not that leader. So that's one problem. But also this jab at which Mr. Stalin, Chief Minister of the state, is doing, I did not see him go and make that discussion either. He stood away in his office, coolly, comfortably in air conditioning, chose to travel to Europe, but could not go just few miles away from his office to meet the corporation workers and the other government officials who have been striking, who have been requesting for better positions for themselves, regularization or permanency. So, yes, that's why anti-incumbency is also issued. 24 hours is
so
what
you are taking on both Vijay and MK Stalin, Ramaswamy Mayappan. That I get it. You are taking on both Vijay and MK Stalin, who seem to be, dare I say, in a very, very strong position, both in Tamil Nadu. I don't know in terms of seats, but RK Radhakrishnan, Vasudha and Mr. Mayappan, the closest Tamil Nadu came to a coalition was in 2006 when the DMK fell below 100 seats. And I remember, as RK just pointed out, that there was a strong equation in Delhi down there. In 2006, remember that there was another factor called Vijay Khan, who took away 6 or 8% vote share in some parts of the state. Did that result in that kind of a result? Could Vijay, and I think the bigger question is that, disrupt the dichotomy in Dravidian politics and push one party or both parties below a simple majority mark? And that's really the crucial question, right?
That's right, Veera. In fact, 2014 is when the big Kutani in Tamil Nadu happened, and that's one thing that BJP leaders keep talking about, because Ponna Radhakrishnan also got that seat from Kanyakumari. But clearly, tomorrow is going to be an important day, because I'm told that the BJP has its whole research prepared on what is the impact of EPS's Yatra. So clearly, there'll be a lot of feedback shared, and which we'll be able to track tomorrow. But thank you, Mr. Mayappan, and thank you, RK Radhakrishnan. RK, before we leave, also help us understand what do you think? Yeah.
No, very briefly, Vasudha, I just want to probe RK and Mayappan a little bit more and make them take a guess on this. Do you believe Tamil Nadu is looking at the possibility of a coalition? Is it acceptable to the Tamil population, or do you believe it's completely out of the question as far as these elections are concerned? RK?
Not as of now, Veera, because you see the political parties in the DMK coalition themselves, DMK alliance themselves have not been talking in terms of sharing power, barring the Congress. You would have seen even in 2006, the first person to come out and say that we'll not be part of the coalition was the PMK. They said that they'll give outside support. VCK at one point of time was talking about it, but no longer talks about it. See, the issue is that everybody has to stay together to win this election, because we don't know what the impact of Vijay will be. So everybody is trying to show this united front, so that they don't lose votes as a result of bickering over who will be in power and who will not be in power.
Mr. Mayappan, what about the other partners like Seeman, or for that matter VCK? I keep listening to Seeman's speeches. Does he really have that kind of impact? Because 8% vote share is also significant that he made last time.
He does.
No, certainly. See, even if he doesn't make an impact pan-state, there are certain seats where he would make a significant impact. The winning and losing margins could be determined by the votes that he gets in a few seats. That could potentially happen. And Vijay certainly is a no mean factor there. I don't underestimate him. I think he's going to be a critical factor in who comes to office, not because he's going to join the coalition, but because he could potentially make the difference between the swing voters, the neutral voters, new voters, and the anti-incumbent voters. So these are the factors that primarily determine an election, and Vijay is going to have a larger role to play there. And that's what Vijaykanth did back in 2006. So definitely that's something that's going to make it interesting for analysts, journalists, and for general public. It's more interesting. I'm quite certain it's going to be a lot tiring for the politicians to have a third newcomer playing. Yes.
I'll tell you what is most interesting for all of us till the results. Analysts can say what they want. Eventually, the results and the people will speak out. We'll wait for that eventually. As somebody said, that till January, every part of this game is open. You never know who's going to go with who. But thanks very much, RK Radhakrishnan and Mayappan there. It'll be interesting to watch, Vasudha, what plays out in New Delhi tomorrow as well.
That's right, Veera. Now moving on to other stories from the south of India, to the Karnataka caste survey that seems to have opened Pandora's box of difficult questions, especially to the Congress party. If it started with Chief Minister Siddaramaia's comments on conversions, which evoked a sharp response from the BJP, the question of some Christians being classified with some Hindu castes in the survey has also led to questions from the BJP.
That's right, Vasudha. The survey lists out, for instance, at least 32 castes like Kuruba Christian, Brahmin Christian, etc. And this brings the conversion debate into the context, at least the BJP bringing that into the context of this caste survey. The Chief Minister declared that those who converted have to opt for the religion and not use the Hindu caste. But does that settle this debate? Joining us this evening, Shatabish Shivanna of the Congress and Prashant GS of the BJP. Shatabish, even before the survey begins, it seems to be evoking more controversy than substance. It could end up politically delicate for the Congress government.
No, every time a socio-economic survey or a caste survey is decided to be conducted by any government in any part of the country, there is severe opposition that the state will face. But the ultimate object and goal being social justice. The policies and schemes of the state government or the central government must reach those who really deserve it. Social paradigms have been shifting, parameters have changed, technology has advanced. And today is a situation where the central government has not conducted a population census since 2011. Is it right? Is it logical for a state government to rely on an outdated 2011 population census to direct its welfare? It doesn't make any logic to me. Therefore, under the Act, under the Karnataka Backward Class Commission Act, the state government is well within the power to conduct a socio-economic and educational survey. And this time around, we are introducing different methods. We are using the house listing process has already been initiated with the help of the ESCOMs. There's a circular to all universities to create awareness.
Right.
There is Aadhaar and KYC link up. The ultimate object.
There was a specific question.
Let me
there
take
was
that
a
question
specific
to
question regarding the classification. Vasudha, go ahead.
let me take that question to Prashant GS. Prashant GS, a lot of experts have also said that caste is a reality which does not really go away even when a person converts. Now, you may have a problem with conversion as an act, but that doesn't change the reality of people who live on the fringes. If a government is trying to find out what's happening to those people, what's wrong?
Vasudha, it's not about conversions as this debate is about. The concern is once a person converts from, say, Hinduism to another religion, he ceases to be a Hindu. Period. You cannot call, once you've converted, that you continue to be Brahmin Christian, Vakaliga Christian, Lingayat Christian. No such thing exists in Christianity also. Either you are Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Sikh, Jain, whatever is permitted under the constitution and the well-known religions only there. You cannot invent new things. Say that you have a Brahmin Christian, you have a Lingayat Christian. This is against it. And moreover, by doing this, Siddaramaiah himself, on a pointed question whether a Kuruba who converts to Christianity, will he write as Kuruba Christian or Kuruba, he said once you convert, he becomes a Christian. Even the chief minister made that comment on public forum. That's on one hand. And on the second hand,
the comment, then what's the problem? The once he's made the comment,
Exactly.
he's categorically said that, look, declare yourself as Christian on the survey.
Exactly. If he is declaring as Christian, you cannot bring in this new subcaste which are not there anywhere. So therefore, if you look at the list also, they're wanting to write. The enumerators say that they're
Let's get
writing.
an answer from Mr. Shivana. Mr. Shivana, very pointedly, we're asking
complete.
you, what is the use of these categories when the Chief Minister himself has clarified that a Kuruba Christian is also a Christian?
See, the idea is to collect data. There are certain sections of society, may it be the Lingayat, Kurubas or Vakligas, who have made a conscious decision to convert to Christianity. And how much population of which community has converted to Christianity, and the data collected thereof is beneficial for the state. But the position of the state government is clear that once you convert to Christianity, you can't avail the benefits of being a Hindu or the policies that are directed towards the SCs or the STs. There's absolutely no qualm about it. Once you cease to be a Hindu and you convert consciously to a different religion, you continue to be a Christian.
Mr. Prashant,
so you're saying it's purely an academic exercise?
Yeah, Prashant, respond to that.
Prashant.
No, exactly. If once you cease to be a Hindu, you become somebody else. Therefore, you cannot have Hindu subcaste names attached to Christian names. It is not permissible. Are you doing it for other religions? Are you doing it for, if somebody has come back, are you doing it the reverse way, saying that he's a Protestant Hindu, he's a Catholic Hindu? Are you doing it? No. You are only trying to undermine Hindus by dividing Hindus here and trying to create this saying that you can be a Christian, but you will have the subcaste of a Hindu. That is at one level. And also,
collection of data,
making
we
a
are
statement.
at a stage of collecting data.
Veera, let me complete.
Make an argument
Let me complete. Shatabish, wait for a turn. Let me complete. Siddaramaiah, by making a statement that people are converting because of inequality in Hinduism, he is now insulted Kanakadasa, he is insulted Ambedkar, he is insulted Basavanna, because all of them stood for social justice and reforms. By making his sweeping statements against Hinduism, he is only trying to divide the Hindus for his vote bank politics and nothing else.
No, it amuses
quick response before we close this debate.
It amuses me, it amazes me as to how the BJP can give a communal angle to anything and everything. We are at a premature stage of collecting data, right? The socio-economic survey is scheduled to be conducted on the September 22nd, which will go until October 7th. We still haven't collected the data, and it's an academic exercise, a purely academic one, but the BJP's attempt to divide people and give a communal
for academic exercise,
very disturbing.
The old report you didn't even accept.
Please, sir, I did not disturb you.
Last survey leading to communal angles as well. Unfortunately, one will have to look at the substance of it and not the noise in this conversation. But thanks to both GS Prashant and Shatabish Shivana for joining us this evening there, Vasudha. It is going to be a contentious issue in the days to come.
That's right. You know, allegations of just data collection to the actual to studying the actual realities of people, and the thing that BJP is raising, that this is just an attempt to divide society. A lot of politics playing out, Veera. It will be interesting to track, but it's time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
फिनेस्टा विंडोज, ब्यूटीफुल एंड ड्यूरेबल डिजाइन्स, इंस्टॉलेशन से मेंटेनेंस की लाइफ लॉन्ग कस्टमर सर्विस। आपके घर में फिनेस्टा नहीं है तो कॉल कीजिए।
फाइनर फिनेस्टा।
जब मुंबई से वापस कोल्हापुर शिफ्ट हुआ तो सबने कहा कि ड्रीम सिटी को छोड़ रहा है। ड्रीम सिटी, तो मैंने कहा ड्रीम में तो यही गलियां आती हैं। तो जब ये रियलाइज़ हुआ कि कुछ बड़ा करने के लिए बड़े शहर में रहने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तब लगा कि लाइफ में ग्रो किया। कशित आई, ऐसे बॉय मिलते मुंबई में, चांस ही नहीं।
SIP करो, इन्वेस्ट करो, लाइफ में ग्रो करो।
प्रतिभूति बाजार में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। निवेश करने से पहले सभी संबंधित दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
The world's defining stage. Leaders, visionaries, decision makers, confronting the challenges of our time.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने।
NDTV World Summit 2025, Edge of the Unknown, 17th to 18th October, only on NDTV.
The best app to use is the NDTV app.
दुनिया भर में जब भी भारतीय मीडिया की चर्चा होती तो NDTV सबसे पहले जिक्र में आता है।
मैं आपका बात से सहमत हूं, उल्टे हम भी जब विदेश जाते हैं, the best app to use is the NDTV app.
The markets move fast.
And so should your portfolio. Expert insights, real-time stock picks.
Do I buy Ola?
Should I
hold
CDSL for the long term? Buy, sell or hold.
The answers you need, straight from the experts.
Callers from India and across the world. Connect live, ask, decide and invest wisely.
Your portfolio, your future. Ask Profit.
Vanakkam Tamil Nadu.
Now the battle for Tamil Nadu 2026 is open now.
After Chief Minister Stalin rolls up his sleeves.
And Vijay steps in as a star challenger.
This is a mass gathering, not for cash.
Meanwhile, a former Chief Minister, Edapadi Palanisamy, begins his fight back.
The big comeback campaign by EPS has well and truly begun.
These are all the ultimate players, and this is going to be the ultimate test.
Well, we're on an incredible piece of Indian engineering. Shiv and I are absolutely privileged to be here with Larsen & Toubro in Hazira near Surat. This is a tank. It's called the Zorawar. It takes the battle to the Chinese in altitudes upwards of 15,000 feet. You know, Vishnu, it's actually incredible that for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude,
country didn't know until it had another war on its hands that it needed a tank like the Zorawar.
No, you're
and
quite
that's
right.
the kind of tank we're sitting on.
You're absolutely right. Now, India does have a history of light tanks.
Yeah.
We've had the Sherman tank, pushed up the Zojila Pass in 1948. We've had the AMX light tank. We've had the PT-76, but they weren't Indian.
Yeah.
This is an Indian tank for a new modern Indian requirement, and it stands out as the best tank of its class, possibly in the world.
There are tanks like the T-15, which the Chinese deployed in Ladakh during the standoff. There is the Sprut, which is a Russian tank, which the Russians have been offering us, hoping that India will buy it along with all the other Russian weapons. But the Indian Army and the Indian government took a decision that this was a requirement that needed to be met here in India. And that's the reason why, we use the phrase mission mode, Vishnu, which is building a weapon system like the Zorawar in response to a live threat or a live combat situation, which is what Eastern Ladakh really is. And that's the reason why Vishnu and I sitting here on the Zorawar means so much.
Welcome back. The Supreme Court has stayed certain provisions of the Waqf Amendment Act 2025, including the rule that requires a person to have practiced Islam for 5 years, dedicating property as Waqf, and the power given to district collectors to decide land disputes and alter revenue. Now, the court has also observed that these clauses need clearer safeguards. It also limited the number of non-Muslim members in Waqf boards and Central Waqf Council, while advising that as far as possible, CEOs of these bodies should be Muslims.
That's right, Vasudha. Extremely interesting developments there. The Act as a whole remains in place, but the partial stay highlights judicial scrutiny over sections of the law seen as affecting due process and community rights. The matter will now continue to be examined in detail by the Apex Court, and the interesting fact is that both sides are claiming victory with what the court has said. But how does the government plan to refine these provisions to balance administrative efficiency with fairness and constitutional safeguards is the real big question that the court will have to answer. To get an understanding of what both sides want, let's get in some expert voices, Vasudha.
That's right. Joining us now is BJP MP Sanjay Jaiswal, who is also part of the JPC on Waqf. Thank you, Mr. Jaiswal, for joining us on this show on NDTV. My first question to you: while the court has not really stayed the Act itself, it has stayed certain provisions like the 5-year Islam practice clause. What is the BJP's big takeaway from today's developments in the court?
We will not like to comment on the whatever so-called short decisions which Supreme Court has made. But Supreme Court should also realize that this bill has been passed with full majority in Lok Sabha as well as with full majority in Rajya Sabha. We didn't won this bill by simple majority of the member of parliaments present in the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. We won by more than 50% of the total strength of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. I firmly believe that executives or judiciary doesn't have superiority over Constitution of India. And if we have done something wrong which is against the basic judgments of Constitution, then Supreme Court should have interfered. Though I will not say that they have stopped us for all the decisions. The decision, which is 5 years practicing Islam, was debated in a quite length in our Waqf JPC. But ultimately, we all decided that there should be some sanctity of the person. It should not look like the way we have seen some people becoming Islam just to get married or just to help some Waqf board to get the property.
Okay.
Like especially with his scheduled caste, somebody can manage them. They can convert them into Islam, get the scheduled caste SC property, and then again that person gets converted into Hindu and the property has gone to the Waqf. these things can happen. We wanted to stop it. Supreme Court has said that lay down the criteria, definite criteria, and it should be decided by states. So let's see, but still we believe that any bill or any law which has been passed in both the houses with full majority, Supreme Court should not interfere in these kind of decisions.
No, even as you make that point, sir, and I concede that the matter is sub judice, so I don't want to press further on it, but the clauses stayed by the court and the cap on non-Muslims, for instance, as part of the Waqf Board or the 5-year rule, are seen as important points for those who had challenged the law as arbitrary and violative of their rights.
First of all, I will request Islamic scholars to decide whether Waqf is a religious matter or Waqf is a property matter. What we have understood, it's more a property matter than a religious matter. I'm not a Muslim, I haven't read Quran, but the witnesses which came there, nobody committed that it's written in any holy verses that there should be a Waqf and Waqf is a holy thing. And second point which we always discussed, that if somebody wants to donate its own property on the name of Allah, why it should be a controversial property? It should be, every Islamic scholar said it's a very pious thing to do, Waqf. If you are doing a pious thing, then why do a property which is surrounded by some kind of controversy? We simply stated that the property which is Waqf has been done by any Waqif, the property should be clean. And who is in charge of a district for deciding that which property belongs to whom? It's the district magistrate. He is the officer who takes care of all kind of land disputes. He is the ultimate authority in district to take kind of all disputes in district. So there's nothing wrong in it, but still it has been only stayed. Let's see, we are also happy that there were so many other rules which has been decided by us. There were so many other laws which were framed by us, and Supreme Court didn't took any objection on those things.
Thank you, Mr. Jaiswal, for joining us on this show. Many valid points made. Also joining us now is another special guest, Veera.
That's right, Vasudha. Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress Party, eminent jurist. Sir, thanks very much for speaking to us. You heard Mr. Jaiswal there, if you did. While some provisions have been stayed, the court has not stayed the act itself, saying prima facie it cannot be seen as unconstitutional. How do you see the order today, even as some sections, in fact all sections, seem to be claiming victory?
See, I don't behave on exaltations and despair. This is an interim order, and nobody's kind of tom-tomming it as a victory or a complete victory or a complete loss. That's the first perspective to be kept in mind. Secondly,
that's right,
of all the main issues, I believe it is fair comment to say that substantial and significant issues which were problematic have been stayed. Let me explain why. Let me be very clear. I appeared as one of the lead counsel. The court has been very kind in expressing their gratitude about our assistance. We specifically said, at least I specifically said, that nobody is seeking a stay of the entire act. This is like putting up a straw man and then shooting it down triumphantly. The straw man was never raised, never argued. At least none of the main counsel argued for a stay of the act. So what's the point of saying, we won a great victory because you didn't get a stay of the act? We never asked for it. Second, what are the main things which were given which are problematic, which were in fact stayed? I specifically was the one person who argued that how do you have a system of declaring a practice of Islam by this lady here or this man there for 5 years? That has been stayed completely. Otherwise, I could come to you and say, look, I believe you're not practicing Islam for 3.5 years.
Right.
I have no evidence, I have not come into your house, I haven't video filmed you, but I will now disqualify you. That is stayed. We must keep things in perspective. Second, is it not stayed that you shall first disqualify me or you shall first, the provisions say that you shall stop treating it as a waqf property while that officer, who's a government officer, is deciding the matter.
Right.
There are 3 provisions there. All 3 have been stated, saying that, look, till such time as the adjudicatory process, which is a proper quasi-judicial or semi-judicial process, decides it, you cannot in the interim treat it as not waqf property.
Right.
Third,
Dr. Singhvi, on the 5-year rule, the court's order does not question the merit of the rule, but says, but states it because there's no mechanism to establish the 5-year period.
That's what it said. That's all that he argued.
So how do you see that? Also, the number of non-Muslims in Waqf boards being capped to 4. How do you see that?
So I haven't completed my points. The next major point we argued, because you're asking us how much we've lost, how much we won, was that here was a very deeply religious body converted into a non-Muslim body. We gave the examples that this list of temples, we gave 10 examples from the most famous Tirupati downwards. None of them have a majority of non-Hindus. And that has been accepted completely by the court at 2 levels, at the level of the Waqf board and at the level of the Waqf council. So there are significant successes. The one success which we wanted, which at least I personally wanted and argued, but did not get, is Waqf by user. Actually, if you were to say, see other points like limitation, like, Ancient Monuments Act, we have not succeeded in, but let me be very clear and candid with you. They were not major issues pressed. The one major issue which I would have thought the court should have stayed but did not was Waqf by user. Okay. I had specifically argued, I'll take half a minute more, that right from the Ayodhya judgment, which in turn cites 100-year-old judgments, which say that you have always in the Supreme Court and elsewhere recognized a concept of customary or Waqf by user entities. Now that judgment was very compelling and persuasive according to us. We cited it, we argued it, but the court has, unfortunately for the interim, not accepted it. I think that could be counted as a bit of a setback. Okay. But it's an interim order. The issue is completely open for the same issue being held in our favor in the final hearing. But really, if you take the balance sheet as you are doing,
right,
every major issue has been in fact considered in the conclusion section, largely in our favor, which were irritants. The points we have lost, Waqf by user, is my biggest regret.
Okay.
I don't think I put in that list Limitation Act, registration. Registration, for example, is a non-invasive activity. If the other things which accompany registration, namely non-Muslim majority, namely declaring the Waqf not to be Waqf till I decide your status, etc., that have all been held in our favor.
No, you're making a very important nuanced point, and absolutely, sir, I concede that this is purely an interim order. One cannot claim victory or defeat at this stage. It's possibly a partial move forward. I also want to draw your attention when you are listing out the balance sheet that way. What about the issue of capping of non-Muslim members in Waqf boards and also allowing that as far as possible, the head of it should be a Muslim?
I think that's a very, very important issue. That issue is an issue which changes the character of the religious / spiritual institution, the origin of which leads to the Waqf. I think it was a wrong provision, but I think the court has fully protected us. That's why I said that all the major irritants have led to protection, barring Waqf by user, which I will concede for the interim we have not succeeded in. But as I said, you should not see this in terms of exultation and despair. I think it's fair to say that there are significant, I'm changing your formulation and giving my own formulation. There are significant victories in that those which actually affected us on the ground till the matter is finally decided, we have succeeded, I would say, in 80%. The issues on which we have not succeeded were not of great importance. They were relatively peripheral. Many did not even argue it, save and except Waqf by user, which was argued frontally and which we have not succeeded in.
Right. Dr. Singhvi, people in the government and also in the BJP feel that since this law was passed, since this bill and of course subsequently the law was passed by parliamentary democracy, both houses, the fact that the court intervened is also in some ways undermining parliamentary democracy. As an eminent jurist, how do you think?
That I'm very sorry to say, and I heard some part of your program, it betrays a blissful and happy ignorance of law. Obviously, the people who are saying this have no idea of how our legal system functions. Let me take 30 seconds to tell you. Do you find laws being struck down every day or not? Number one. Number two, do you know that our constitutional courts have the power of judicial review? Number three, do you know that they have the power of judicial review of not only executive action but legislation? Number four, it is elementary and elemental that in a constitutionally governed dynamic court like ours, whose power of judicial review exceeds any other apex court on planet Earth, you can strike down legislation on the ground that it violates the Constitution. Is not every legislation passed by parliamentary majority? If this ridiculous argument was correct, that the courts would be supine and impotent to touch any legislation passed by any parliament or state assembly at any point of time. And lastly, those esteemed friends who are talking about this on your channel elsewhere, forget that the Indian Supreme Court has a power which no other apex court has. In addition to the power of striking down legislation, even if a constitutional amendment is passed, our law says that even a constitutional amendment by 2/3 can be unconstitutional if it is found to violate the basic structure. And who declares what is the basic structure? The Supreme Court. So I think this is a very funny argument. If it was not seriously tragic, it would be comic.
That's right. It is the constitutional safeguards as well to protect the basic structure of the Constitution. Making a very important point there, Mr. Singhvi, as always. Thanks very much for speaking to us. Of course, the conversation around the Waqf Act and the case itself will continue as the case unfolds in the apex court. But thanks very much for speaking to us here this evening.
That's right, Veera. The final outcome will shape how Waqf properties are managed in India and also define the extent of state oversight over what we see as religious endowments.
That's right. And now to other stories from around the country, including the focus on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 75th birthday on the 17th of September. It will be celebrated nationwide by the BJP with a series of events, including a 2-week quote-unquote Seva Pakwada focused on public service activities like blood donation, cleanliness drives and health camps.
That's right. Veera, Pakwada is actually a week. In fact, it's also an opportunity for ministers and party leaders to reflect on what they have learned from the Prime Minister in the last many years and how they look at his leadership. I spoke to Environment Minister Bhupender Yadav today morning, and this is what he said. Hello everybody, it's an eventful and important day for the country, important week for the country as the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, turns 75 on the 17th of September. To talk about aspects of his leadership, we have with us Environment Minister Bhupender Yadav. Thank you so much, Mr. Yadav, for joining us. आपने PM के साथ बहुत काम किया है organization level पर and also at the level of the cabinet. What aspect of his leadership do you think has been the most inspiring for you?
सबसे बड़ा विषय है प्रधानमंत्री जी का अनुशासन। उनको हम एक बहुत ही अनुशासन वाली जिंदगी को जीते हुए देखते हैं। दूसरा सेवा भावना, और आपने देखा होगा कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अपने शासनकाल में सेवा को राजनीति के प्रतिमान के रूप में स्थापित किया है। और तीसरा, जो भी अगर कोई विपत्ति का भी विषय आता है तो ऐसे अवसरों में सबको साहस और हौसला देना। और हम साक्षी हैं कि शताब्दी में जब भयंकर महामारी का संकट आया था तो न केवल उन्होंने लोगों के हौसले को बनाए रखने का काम किया, भारत को कोविड वैक्सीन में आत्मनिर्भर बनाकर सबके जीवन को सुरक्षित भी किया। तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है अनुशासन, सेवा भाव और साहस, ये प्रधानमंत्री जी के ऐसे गुण हैं जो हमको प्रभावित करते हैं।
Mr. Yadav, आपको लगता है प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने पार्टी को फ्यूचर के लिए प्रिपेयर किया है? बिकॉज वी कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट जनरेशनल शिफ्ट एंड पीएम हिमसेल्फ सेज दैट 1 लाख पीपल नीड टू कम इनटू पॉलिटिक्स. डू यू थिंक ही हैज प्रिपेयर्ड द पार्टी फॉर द फ्यूचर?
निश्चित रूप से उन्होंने एक ऐसा भी समय था जब पार्टी के ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी के रूप में अपनी भूमिका को निभाया था, और भारतीय जनता पार्टी में विचार और प्रशिक्षण के स्तर पर संगठन मंत्री की एक बड़ी भूमिका है। और उन्होंने अपने मुख्यमंत्री कार्यकाल में और प्रधानमंत्री रहते हुए पार्टी में कुछ साइंटिफिक विषयों को इजाद किया। जैसे मैं गुजरात का प्रभारी रहा तो गुजरात पार्टी में पार्टी और संगठन में समन्वय रहे तो लगातार मिलने के लिए उन्होंने टिफिन बैठक जैसा प्रयोग करवाया। सबसे बड़ी बात है, किसी भी लोकतांत्रिक पार्टी में इस बात की बहुत आवश्यकता होती है कि पार्टी उम्मीदवारों का चयन कितने लोकतांत्रिक तरीके से करती है। और मैं बताता हूँ, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के उम्मीदवार चुनने की प्रक्रिया में गुजरात में जो एक व्यवस्था निर्मित करी कि जिले के कार्यकर्ता मंडल के कार्यकर्ताओं से बात करते हैं, फिर सिंगल नाम नहीं लाते, पैनल में नाम लाते हैं, फिर प्रदेश की पूरी टीम बैठकर क्षेत्र अनुसार, आवश्यकता अनुसार उन सभी नामों पे एक साथ विचार करती है। तो ये जो प्रयोग मैंने देखे अपने प्रभारी गुजरात कार्यकाल में रहते हुए, और मेरे को उनके कार्यकाल का एक ऐसा भी समय था जब वो खुद अपने हाथ से कार्यकर्ताओं को पत्र लिखते थे, उनको कार्य कैसा करना चाहिए, कमियां क्या रह गई, समाचार पत्र को कैसा ध्यान देना चाहिए। तो प्रधानमंत्री जी हमेशा कार्यकर्ता निर्माण, व्यक्तित्व निर्माण और सेवा भावना का जागरण, इन तीन पक्षों को सबके अंदर जगाने का काम करते हैं, और ये नई लीडरशिप को उनसे ये सीख करके आगे बढ़ने का अवसर भी मिलता है।
Mr. Yadav, with you as the Environment Minister, from COP 28 to even G20, हमने देखा है कि ज़्यादा emphasis adaptation पे रहा है, not just on mitigation, which is something that you also speak about, लेकिन जिस तरह की आपदाएं आ रही हैं from Himachal Pradesh to Uttarakhand, Supreme Court has said that Himachal can even vanish. What kind of approach does the centre have as part of its new policy?
सबसे बड़ा विषय है कि हमको अपनी जो लाइफ स्टाइल है, उस लाइफ स्टाइल में इको सस्टेनेबिलिटी का महत्व देना चाहिए। अभी प्रधानमंत्री जी के द्वारा पूरे देश में एक पेड़ माँ के नाम अभियान को किया गया है, लेकिन पिछले 10 वर्षों में देखेंगे तो हमने देश में जो इको सेंसिटिव एरिया उसका विस्तार करा है। इससे पहले देश में 48 टाइगर रिजर्व होते थे, उनको बढ़ा करके 58 किया गया है। फिर लेक्स का भी बड़ा महत्व होता है, तो हमारी पहले 2014 तक 25 रामासर साइट्स थी, उनको बढ़ा करके 101 किया है। फिर सस्टेनेबिलिटी में इस बात का भी ध्यान रखते हैं कि हम रिन्यूएबल की ओर कैसे जाएं। तो उनके नेतृत्व में न केवल भारत ने रिन्यूएबल की क्षमता को बढ़ाया, बल्कि इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस जैसा उन्होंने इंटरनेशनल एक क्लाइमेट एक्शन प्रोग्राम भी दिया। फिर जो जलवायु परिवर्तन की समस्या है, इसका डिजास्टर में फ्यूचरिस्टिक इंजीनियरिंग क्या हो, तो उन्होंने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर कोलिशन फॉर डिजास्टर रेजिलियंस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर CDRE जैसे संगठन का निर्माण किया। इसका अर्थ यह है कि हम अपने एक्सपीरियंस शेयरिंग से, नॉलेज शेयरिंग से, कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग से इन चीज़ों का किस प्रकार से मुकाबला करते हैं। और प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में मिटिगेशन में भी, एडेप्टेशन में और लाइफ स्टाइल में परिवर्तन लाने के लिए उन्होंने मिशन लाइफ जैसा मंत्र सबको दिया है। और आज हम एनवायरनमेंट की एक पूरी फ्रेंडली एटमॉस्फेयर से पॉलिसी का निर्माण करते हैं, जिसमें इन सस्टेनेबल विषयों को भी किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट को पास करते समय आगे बढ़ाते हैं। राज्य सरकारों के में एक विषय जरूर है, चाहे वायनाड में केरल का हुआ हो, चाहे हिमाचल में हुआ हो, जब हम लोकल मैनेजमेंट प्लान पास करते हैं, लोकल नगर नियोजन पास करते हैं, उस समय जो बिल्डिंग प्लान है उनका राज्य सरकारों को एक बहुत सख्ताई से सेंसिटिव एरिया में पालन करना चाहिए।
सर, क्लाइमेट में जब आप देखेंगे तो आई नो दैट द प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैज़ अ वेरी यूनिक पॉलिसी एंड यू आर इम्प्लीमेंटिंग दैट, बट हमारे जो बड़े शहर हैं फ्रॉम मुंबई टू बेंगलुरु, वी हैव सीन देम गेटिंग फ्लडेड। डू वी नीड क्लाइमेट लिटरेसी अमंग्स पीपल? कुछ स्टेट्स उसकी भी बात कर रहे हैं सर।
क्लाइमेट कॉन्शियसनेस, क्योंकि प्लानिंग तो वही बनाते हैं जो पढ़े लिखे लोग होते हैं, लेकिन अगर कॉन्शियसनेस होगी तो प्लानिंग को ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से करेंगे।
Bhupen ji, I can't let you go without this. You were the Prabhari of the first COVID election in India, Bihar 2020. What is your expectation from Bihar 2025?
बिहार में एनडीए की सरकार ने पिछले समय में बहुत अच्छा प्रदर्शन किया और हम विश्वास करते हैं नीतीश जी के नेतृत्व में वहाँ एनडीए चुनाव में सफलता प्राप्त करेगी।
आखिरी सवाल सर, पीएम की मां के बारे में जो कहा गया था ऑपोजिशन की तरफ से, आपको लगता है जो एआई वीडियो आया था, डू यू थिंक दैट इसका कोई असर पड़ेगा बिहार की जनता पर?
देखिए, अभद्रता और अपमानजनक बातें करना ये कांग्रेस की संस्कृति है, और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि कांग्रेस के लोग बेशर्मी से काम कर रहे हैं और जनता कांग्रेस को जरूर सबक सिखाएगी, क्योंकि कांग्रेस की इस बेशर्मी को और इतनी गलत बातों को कभी देश की जनता बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगी।
Thank you so much. Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav there, that it is the Prime Minister's leadership that's also amplifying the organization's strength, not just to strengthen its governance, but also strengthen its prospects at politics. With camera person Stephen Anthony, this is Vasudha Venugopal for NDTV.
There's Bhupender Yadav, Environment Minister. Veera, also an important voice in the government, speaking about the Prime Minister's leadership and also on the government strategy when it comes to climate disasters. He says that the centre is working with states to ensure climate consciousness amongst people.
Well, that's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. Vasudha and I will be back tomorrow with all the latest. Thanks for watching.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
That's huge. That is a biggie. It's out of it.
गोल्ड ग्लास क्लियर ग्लास, पार हो या नियर, सब कुछ दिखे क्लियर।
माय बर्थडे गिफ्ट टू पापा, ये उनके पापा की पहली गाड़ी एक गराज में पड़ी थी दार्जिलिंग में, फिर 3 मैकेनिक, पेंटिंग, पॉलिशिंग। जब इसे फाइनली घर लाया ना, तब लगा लाइफ में ग्रो किया है। बुलाओ।